There's a fear that so many independent shop owners carry around with them. A fear that if their business grows, something important might be lost along the way. Maybe the personality of the shop disappears. Maybe the connection with the customers gets less. Maybe the original reason they started that business in the first place becomes unknown. And I completely understand that fear because I have felt it myself. When I first started my brick and mortar business, I didn't start it because I wanted a big company. I started it because I cared deeply about the experience and the people walking through my doors. But over time, something interesting happened. That small business grew from one location to multiple locations. We created our own product line. We built an e-commerce store that sold products all around the world. And along the way, I learned something very important. It is absolutely possible to grow your business without losing your soul in the process. But it requires a slightly different way of thinking about your business growth. So in this video, I want to share some of the mistakes I made and the lessons that helped me grow my small business while still protecting the things that mattered most to me. Because one of the first mistakes I made when my business started to grow was believing that growth meant doing more and more things. I felt like I should have more products. I felt like I should introduce services and workshops and events. I should have more ideas. I should experiment with more different things. And to be honest, for a while, it felt exciting. It also created a whole lot of chaos. And when you have a brain like mine, it meant that my business became harder and harder to manage because I was always chasing the next thing. My team became unclear about the priorities that they should be focused on a daily basis. And eventually, what I realized was sustainable growth rarely comes from doing more and more and more. It comes from focusing on doing a few things very, very, very well. And for us, it was focusing on what customers loved about our business. The experience, the quality, and the sense that they were being genuinely looked after every single time they walked through the doors. When we focused on strengthening those things, growth became much more natural and it started to happen much faster. So, lesson number 1, protect the heart of your business. One of the most important things I learned as my business started growing was that growth can very easily dilute the one thing that made your business special in the first place. When businesses start to expand, there's this temptation to chase every opportunity. But what often happens is the business that you once created starts drifting away from the thing that your customers originally loved. Maybe customers love your shop because it began with a very clear identity. Maybe they love it because it feels welcoming. Maybe it's because you as the owner have a great knowledge about the products and how it helps people. But as the business grows, the identity can sometimes become blurred, which means you might stock too many products in different ranges. It might mean your marketing message becomes less clear. It might mean your experience becomes less consistent. And suddenly, the shop that you have created feels like a very different space to your customers. And research into brand memory shows something really interesting, right? Customers remember businesses best when they associate with them in one clear strength. So, for example, this might mean the shop that always has the best, beautiful smelling candles, the boutique that is known for flattering dresses, the place that always has the perfect gift when they come to buy for a specific person. When businesses try to become known for more and more things, they often become memorable for nothing. So one of the most important decisions I made in my own business was identifying what customers loved most about our experience and protecting that as our business grew. Even when new exciting opportunities appeared, even when expanding more and more became possible, because the heart of your business is the reason customers choose you. And protecting that allows you to grow without losing your identity. And if you're in the process of looking for more ways to grow your business, that's exactly what I help retailers do all around the world. And I've created a small course to help you boost your retail sales in 30 days. Inside it, I give you the exact steps to grow your sales and turn more browsers into buyers using proven psychology and a little bit of know-how from what I have learned over the last, 20 years. Now, let's get back to lesson number 2. Systems protect your freedom. Because another huge turning point in my business was realizing that growth without systems eventually becomes flippin' exhausting. In the early years, I know so many small business owners, you run your shop almost entirely from instinct, right? You remember things in your head, you personally solve the problems, you personally fix all the mistakes, and in the beginning, it kind of works. But as your business grows, that approach becomes completely unsustainable because the business becomes dependent on you being absolutely everywhere. What changed everything for me was starting to build systems. And when I say systems, I don't mean complicated corporate horrible processes. I just mean simple, repeatable ways of doing things. So for example, how customers were greeted when they walked into the store, how products were displayed, how new stock was introduced, how the team spoke about certain products, how marketing messages were shared. Once those things were written down and repeated consistently, the experience became more consistent even when I wasn't personally there enforcing it to happen. And this is why so many successful retail businesses operate so smoothly, because the experience that every customer gets isn't at random. It's intentional, it's been thought about. And in fact, many studies of growing businesses show that companies with clear operational systems scale significantly faster than those relying on individual effort alone. I promise you this, when you create systems in your business, it removes all of the messy chaos that happens in the middle, and they protect the quality at the other end. And they also give you the space to think about growth rather than constantly fixing all the little problems that don't actually need you to fix them. Lesson number 3, growth comes from reputation. Another important lesson I learned is that sustainable growth often comes from reputation rather than having constant promotions. Because when you first start a business, it is so easy to believe that growth comes from doing more marketing, more social media posts, more adverts, more campaigns. Over time, I realized that our most powerful growth moments came from something that actually was much more simple, and it was about our customers talking about us. Customers recommending us, customers bringing their friends, bringing their family. And this is what marketing researchers call its word of mouth influence, right? And this is the most powerful bit of marketing that you can ever get for your business. Studies have consistently shown that recommendations from friends and family are one of the most trusted forms of marketing. In fact, research by Nielsen has shown that over 80% of consumers trust recommendations from people they know more than any form of marketing and advertising. Which means the real term growth strategy for your small business isn't simply about running more promotions and hoping more people walk through the door. It's about creating experiences inside your shop that encourage your customers to talk about you. When people are given experiences worth talking about, they will. And that conversation spreads your reputation further than any advert ever could, and it costs you way less money too. So some of the most meaningful growth moments in my own businesses came from customers telling other people about us and the way that I encouraged them to do that. Lesson number 4, you do not have to do it alone. The final lesson that I wanted to share with you is something that I know a lot of business owners struggle with, and it's the belief that you have to solve everything by yourself. Now, I spent the first 2 years of running my shop believing that. I thought that if I asked for help, it meant I wasn't capable enough. So when problems did appear, I tried to figure everything out all on my own. But running a business is demanding. Like, it takes so much of you, and you are putting your heart and your soul and everything into this shop. There are so many decisions to make, from marketing to pricing to hiring eventually to product selection to growth strategy to trying to navigate absolutely everything. And trying to do this alone becomes so overwhelming and then paralyzing because you don't know what to focus on first. One of the biggest breakthroughs in my own journey came when I realized how valuable it is to learn from other people. I can pinpoint the moment my business went from struggling to succeeding, and it was the moment I joined a mentorship group and I had somebody that understood the problems I was facing and was able to talk to regularly to get help, to understand how somebody else with more experience would go through this, to realize that I wasn't the only person feeling these things. Now, sometimes a conversation with someone who has been through it before can save you months or even years of trial and error and hoping and praying and just keeping your fingers crossed and hoping for the best. When you look for it, most successful entrepreneurs will openly talk about how important mentorship has been in their journey. And it's something I strongly believe in. Running a business might start as an individual decision that you make because it's something that you want to do for whatever reason you choose to do it. But it should not remain an isolated journey. So if you are running a business right now and you sometimes feel that growing your business might mean losing the thing that you love about it and losing yourself along the way, I want you to know that it doesn't have to be that way. Growth doesn't have to mean becoming a completely different business. It doesn't mean you having to become a completely different person even. It just means looking at what you have, understanding what customers love most about it, and understanding how to keep that at the heart of everything that you do, how to create systems that ensure that stays at the heart of everything that you do, and realizing that if you keep talking to your customers, keep understanding how they think, how they feel, what they want, what they need, and coming back to the fact that your business only exists because of them, regardless of what else might come your way that might feel exciting, that might feel brand new. If it doesn't help your customers achieve something, want something, need something, then what on earth would you be doing it for? And if it only comes down to the fact that it's your ego and that you feel like it might just be good for you to do personally, that could be a sign that it is dragging your business further away from what your customers want and need and deserve from you. And it could become more difficult to encourage them to come back again. When you do protect the heart of the experience you give your customers, and allow your reputation to spread through the people that already love what you do, that's the type of growth that becomes sustainable. And that's the type of growth that allows you to build a business that you are truly proud of, and one that doesn't suck all of your time and love and energy. And if you're in the process of wanting to grow your business and you are thinking about, well, is it something that do I have a business that I need more customers? Do I need more customers to turn into actual buyers? And how do I increase the average sale of each customer to ensure that my business is as profitable as it can possibly be? Check out Boost Your Retail Sales in 30 Days. It's the course that I have created, and inside that course, you will also be given the options to work with me personally too. And I will walk you through the entire strategy that's already helped other retailers grow their businesses, increase their average orders, so that you can boost your sales and do it in a sustainable way that works on psychology, that doesn't mean you having to become pushy or salesy in the process. So if you found this video helpful, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because every week I share practical ideas and strategies to help independent retailers attract more customers, sell more products, and build businesses that feel far easier and more rewarding to run. I hope you have a great day.